guys, welcome to the Chad Prather Show. Wednesday, hump day. We are getting after it. I'll be in Nashville, Tennessee tomorrow night. Zany's Comedy Club. Get your tickets. Come hang out with us. It's going to be a full house. I'll mention that again later on once people get on the show. Whoa, what a day we're having, huh? There's a lot to get into. Obviously, Donald Trump has gone off on his supporters, or as he called them, his past supporters, over the, quote, Epstein hoax. I'd love to get your take on that. I think I know a lot of it. Yeah, listen, Donald Trump has done some great stuff, folks. He's done some great stuff. We didn't support him blindly. We're not going to stop supporting him blindly either, but we're going to get into it. We're not going to gloss over it. We're not going to hide it, and pretend like he didn't say it. He said it. I want to address that. I'll give you my take for what it's worth. I know there's going to be those of you who are going to jump in the chat. You're going to be like, the biggest problem that I have is people just don't listen. They don't listen. They think they read a headline or they read a topic and they think they know what's being said about it. They don't. Remember what I said the other day about critical thinking, folks? Remember what I said about it? And let's just go ahead. Let's just jump right into this thing. And I'll bring Party Foul Steve on to get his take here in a minute. Let me just say that I don't want to say it now or I want to wait. Because I know it takes about 15 minutes for everybody to get on the show. My heart is full. My head is full. My mouth is full. And I want to talk to you guys. I really do. Just encourage you if I can do that. Because I know there's a lot of people that are trying to go, what in the world is going on? What is the president trying to say? And we'll talk about that here in a little bit. And I'll get a couple of different takes on it. And I'd love to hear from you guys in the chat. Float those emojis. Let me see the American flags. All right. Man, oh man, oh man. You guys have been faithful guys. I'll say that. You've been faithful people. You've shown up. You voted even when you didn't trust the election system, didn't believe the ballots were honest. You dealt with for every reason in this world to believe that the elections were rigged. You still showed up. You overwhelmed the algorithm. You've rallied. You've been to the rallies. Some of you got put in jail. You believed in something bigger than yourself, and now you're being called, weak, gullible, past supporter. And why? Because you dared to ask questions about Jeffrey Epstein, because you didn't just go along with the newest script, because you remembered that justice doesn't get to take a nap just because it's inconvenient for your favorite guy. So I'd say it real loud and clear. You're not the problem. In fact, you might just be the only ones left that are actually paying attention. You're not weak. No one is weak for wanting the truth. Nobody's disloyal for refusing to excuse evil. You're not former supporters just because you still have a backbone. And being accused of such, listen, we'll talk about this for the next hour. Real strength, real patriotism is not about kissing rings. It's not about that. It's not about kissing ass. It's about standing for what's right, even when it's uncomfortable or unpopular. In the face of gaslighting from the most powerful man on the planet, and I'm telling you, that's what it is. It's gaslighting. Trying to tell you that you shouldn't believe what your eyes have seen or what they've actually told you. This is like, quite honestly, it's like an abuser who does something and then turns around and says, that's not what happened at all. That's not what I said. I didn't say that last night. Well, you did say it. It's actually recorded. We're not going off of things blindly here. Patriotism is about getting past all of that. It's about loving your country, yes, and loving truth to the point where you say something's not right here. And I'm not going to shut up about it. Now, some people want you to believe that asking questions about Epstein makes you some kind of a conspiracy nut. But you know better than that. We saw what happened. We saw the cover-ups. We saw the connections. You're going to tell me that we don't have a child trafficking problem in this country? You're going to tell me that there's not pedophiles in Hollywood and in the highest of the elites? I mean, it's a problem. We know that. It's a problem. It is a statistical fact. We know it's there. And as I said yesterday, Epstein isn't the disease. He's the symptom. He was the zit that popped up that pointed out the poison that's in the body. You see, we know the fear that happens in the eyes of the elite when the spotlight starts to get a little too close, because we've seen it in their eyes. And to be totally honest with you, some of y'all have been in this fight longer than the people trying to insult you now. You were paying attention when the media said Epstein's death was this or that, suicided or not suicided, or he got a new face living in Tel Aviv. You were paying attention when the flight logs went silent, when the cameras malfunctioned, when the guards fell asleep, right? When the names got redacted. You've been screaming into the void about this for years. I know I have. I've been talking about it for 5 freaking years, 6 years, and now it's a hoax. No, what it is it's dangerous. And this isn't going to win me any friends in places of power by saying this. When power gets nervous, it does one of two things. It either distracts you or it turns on you. Those are the options. So now we got to figure out what's going on. Are we being distracted? I mean, apparently we can pretty much see that we've been turned on. And I say we, I mean saying myself. I don't know how you feel about it. I'd love to see in the chat what you guys think. Have you been turned on? Do you feel a little like this administration, like this president has turned on you a little bit to call you a weakling? And I'm not trying to burn the house down. I support Donald Trump. I do. Trust me, I can handle the tough language, right? I've made a career out of talking about how people need to suck it up and deal with the mean tweets. It doesn't hurt my feelings. I've got pretty thick damn skin, or I wouldn't be doing what I do. I sure as shit wouldn't be saying what I'm saying. But if suddenly you've become the enemy for staying awake and sticking with it, might just be you rattle the right cage. And I want to remind you of something. Your loyalty was never to a person. And if it was, shame on you and shame on me. Loyalty has to be to truth and to justice and to freedom, because you weren't fighting for somebody's brand. You were fighting for your kids. You were fighting for the next generation, for the future, for a country that doesn't turn a blind eye to evil just because it wears the right hat or waves the right flag. And I get it. Some of you feel disillusioned. You feel disenfranchised. Some people feel like they've been played, like the people you trusted are changing the rules mid-game, and that hurts. I'm not going to pretend like it doesn't. But maybe this is a refining moment for all of us. Maybe this is when we stop placing our hope in people and start placing it in principles, in conviction, in God. I can tell you where my focus is. It's with God. My future is about God, because there's only one that sits enthroned in my life. As much as I try to dethrone him and go my own way, he's still there. The one in authority is God. And I'm not trying to hyper-spiritualize anything, but I believe that God brought us to this moment. God's not surprised by today. God's not surprised by anything that happens in human history. And by the way, God didn't get up on the wrong side of the bed. He's not having a bad day. God has spoken, not out of emotion, but out of an even keel intelligence that's balanced with truth that can transform your life. So that's where my loyalty lies. And if you need permission to care about child trafficking, if you need the president or anybody else to give you that permission, you've already lost your moral compass. So if somebody has to green light your outrage, then they weren't on your side to begin with. So no, you're not weak. You're not past your usefulness. You're not irrelevant. You're exactly what this country still has going for it. And people, I want you to be people who know, regardless of what happens, you don't flinch. You're people who remember, the people who pray with their eyes open and their sleeves rolled up, the ones who dig and dig and dig until the ugly truth comes out of hiding. What was it that Jack Posobiec, I think I saw his post on X a little while ago, where he said, the only way, God, I will have to look it up. Basically saying you got to persevere and go through. The only way to win is to push through. We'll pull that up in a minute. You got to be one of those ones that are willing to lose popularity before you lose your soul. You're the remnant. You're the watchman on the wall. And if that makes some people uncomfortable, so be it. Because this isn't about who we like or who likes you. This is about what's right. And I'll tell you right now, I'd rather stand with the truth and be called a weakling than sit silent while evil gets a pass. So don't let any shame tactics get you. Don't let insults derail you. Don't let political idol worship stop you from defending the innocent. You got to stay loud and bold, and you got to stay humble at the same time, but stay firm. Because the truth, it doesn't change with the latest headline. The story is just getting too close to the wrong people. You know that in your heart. It's getting too close to the wrong people for whatever reason. But I will promise you this, darkness hates exposure. And if you keep pressing, keep praying, keep fighting, light will break through. And when it does, you're going to be able to stand tall and say, I didn't back down. I didn't sell out. I didn't fall asleep when the world needed me awake. You want to know who's really strong? It's the ones who won't stop until every chain breaks and every trafficker falls. And no matter what the name is on the list, they keep going. And you're not alone. And you're not done. All right, let me tell you about my friends over at Allied Oilfield. We'll talk about this some more. Take encouragement from what I'm telling you. Take encouragement from what I'm telling you. Oh, you're suddenly against Trump. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. The man's done a great job. He's doing phenomenal things. I was on Stu Peters' show yesterday. Stu always trying to get you trapped. He says things like he's putting words in your mouth. He wants to talk about, not supporting Trump. I'm not. I said, no, Stu, I pushed back on that. I voted for the man. Stu said he didn't. Fine. That's your right as an American. But I believe Trump's done a good job. And we're going to see what happens with this. This whole just trust. No, absolutely not. We're not going to just trust. Not going to do that. Our friends over at Allied Oilfield, AlliedOilfield.com, industry leaders in the oil and gas company, as well as they got stuff for trucking. You folks that are getting the job done out there, check them out at AlliedOilfield.com. They're over in West Texas. They've been doing this for a couple of decades. They build some big equipment. And they're good folks, man. And they are the innovators in that industry. Everybody needs one of these parked in their front yard, I think. So just go get one. Go get you a frack water trailer. Yeah. I'd drive one around and take it over to McDonald's, see if it fit through the drive-thru. It'd be hard to park at the airport. But go check them out, man. They've been faithful supporters of the show because they're fans of the show. And I appreciate that. This is they've just been good partners. So get over to their website today. Check them out. If you've been on the fence about even checking them out, I want you to go check them out, AlliedOilfield.com. But if you're an engineer, if you're one of those people that are out there in that industry, check them out. Go see what they got. Good chance you're already dealing with them. Deal with them some more. All right, let's get with it. Party Foul Steve's in the house. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on?
All right, dude. Ding dong. Let's do this, Steve.
Real quick, I'm hypothetical for you. Okay. So
well, before you go into it, I think you tell me if this will work or not. Okay. Do we need to read what Trump said? I think everybody knows what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But before you say anything else,
read what he said, and then we're going to do a little hypothetical game because I like hypotheticals sometimes.
All right. I like hypotheticals, too. I like your hypotheticals.
So I don't know about that, but we'll see.
So let's pull it up. This is what Jack Posobiec said. He said the only way out is through. And I think I know what he means by that. Eric Doherty said some absolute scorching language from President Trump against my past supporters. They bought into this bullshit. They're weaklings, haven't learned their lesson, probably never will. Conned by a lunatic left for 8 long years. I don't want their support. Ooh, strong language from the president.
That's a strong and kind of a dumb statement. But just because you don't support on one individual thing doesn't mean that everything else is not, that doesn't negate everything. But my hypothetical to you, let's say on day one, Trump and the DOJ came through and did everything they were supposed to do and exposed everything with Epstein, or at least presented it to the people and gave it all to them, and stopped all the wars, did the tariffs, everything worked out, the economy's great and stuff like that. But he absolutely did nothing about the border, the southern border.
Yeah.
The base would hold him accountable to what he said he would do.
Right.
And so I look at it this way. It's not just because it's Epstein. It's because it's one of the things that he said, we're going to take care of this. We're going to do it. And it's not happening.
Well, fair point. And I would say, to that, I mean, if he had not pardoned January 6ers, I mean, if he had not, so many different things that are out there that he talked about and he promised. I could tell you this. So I'll make a comment after I read this. So this is what he said. Radical left Democrats, they've hit pay dirt again, just like with the fake and fully discredited Steele dossier. 51 intelligence agents, a laptop from hell. The Dems swore it had come from Russia. No, it came from Hunter Biden's bathroom. Even the Russia scam itself, a totally fake and made up story used to hide crooked Hillary Clinton's big loss in the 2016 election. These scams and hoaxes are all the Democrats are good at. It's all they have. They are no good at governing, no good at policy, no good at picking winning candidates. And unlike Republicans, they stick together like glue. Their scam is what will forever be called the Jeffrey Epstein hoax, and my past supporters have bought into this bullshit hook, line, and sinker. They haven't learned their lesson and probably never will, even after being conned by the lunatic left for 8 long years. I've had more success in 6 months than probably any president in the country's history. Let me say this, sir. You've done a lot of executive orders that have still not been pushed through Congress, if we're being completely and totally honest, although I will not diminish the fact that you have done a lot. The border is closed. January 6ers have been pardoned. There's a lot of things that are, out there that have been done successfully. People wanted to question the tariffs, whether or not they were going to work. We believed in you on that. We said, give it 6 months and let's see what happens. It didn't even take that long to see the success of them.
Hey, where does he get his information that people are jumping ship on him?
Well, he goes
I understand
back.
the polls are lower.
I don't know what the polls are. I don't even know what those are. So,
yeah.
So, that deal is to say that you don't want their support. Okay, I understand that. You're not running for re-election. I got that. You have no reason to need their support necessarily. But to say that...
does the president spend too much time on social media, on Twitter, reading everything that comes out?
Well, he's a counterpuncher, right?
Yeah.
He's a counterpuncher, and he does go after those when he feels attacked. Now, I will tell you this: I have never at any time associated the stuff that we have discovered, things we have been told, the things we were promised. I've never associated those things with Hunter Biden's laptop or a Russian collusion hoax or the Steele dossier or anything else. And I'll tell you why. Because the Trump administration did not give me a binder on the Steele dossier. They didn't give me a binder on Russian collusion or the Mueller report, or they didn't give me a binder on saying phase 1 about Hunter's laptop. They gave us this saying more was to come. They created that script. The White House created that script. They said, this is what we have and more is coming. The White House said to my face, more is coming. They didn't do that with anything else, but they did that with this. They did that with the Epstein thing. This was not, and I'll be clear, it wasn't a campaign promise. You can correct me if I'm wrong, if you've got a clip somewhere out there, but I'm just saying it was something he said, we'll look into it.
I feel like at this point it was an the entire administration. That was some of the whole point of Pam Bondi and Dan Bongino and Chad Patel. They're going to get to the bottom of all these things.
Okay.
And
if Donald Trump had come out and said there's no list. I mean, Pam Bondi literally said the word list, because people are attacking me on X today, just every day, saying, oh, there's no list, it's just information. No. Pam Bondi said she had a list on her desk. She used the word list. I don't need the list. I don't need the names on the list. We need justice. We needed arrests. We were asking for some people to get arrested. Now, let me say, if wanting people, okay, Donald Trump just talked about all these supposed hoaxes that are out there. Why has this administration not arrested anybody? Why has no one still not been held accountable for the things that we know were hoaxes? Why is there no justice? And then you're going to turn around and say the people who are asking for justice in this are weaklings and past supporters. I have a problem with that, because, again, it violates every rule of critical thinking that I have. You literally told us this was something you want to look into. It was obviously a priority of the Department of Justice, or it would not have been brought up by Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and Dan Bongino and everyone else. So this, I just want
attacking the people that love you,
and that's where everybody is frustrated.
Yeah, but half the people want to sweep it under. Just forget about it because he's done everything good.
Well, but again, he could have come out and said, all right, this information has been so radically manipulated either by the left or former administrations, or, it's been passed from hand to hand through a corrupt FBI and justice system that we don't know what's true anymore. I would have been okay with that, actually.
They should have led with that.
Like, I would have been, if you had come out and said, these files are so corrupted, we can't make heads or tails over what's true, what has evidence, what is, can be backed up, can be justified, can be proven. If you had done that, I would have said, okay, that's great. But you said you had the information. I found this clip this morning. I found this interesting. Play this, please.
I'm fine with all the other lists. As long as I'm not on the Epstein list, we're good, right? Speaking of which, how is it that my father can be convicted of 34 crimes, but no one on Epstein's list has even been brought to light? I'm trying to figure out how that's possible, right, folks? It's almost like they're trying to protect those pedophiles for some reason. I can't imagine why, right? I'm fine.
So what is it?
This is, again,
that's Don Jr.
Still, it's I don't go out there and speak for you. And he's out there speaking for, in a way, he's speaking for his dad's administration and his dad.
I mean, he's in front of 6,000 people right there at TPUSA saying those things. So was Junior lying? I don't think he was. No. Were you just trying to rally the crowd up? Because I'd say he got them pretty fired up right there. Are we supposed to get that fired up at a TPUSA meeting at the words of the son of the president when he's giving a fiery speech on this topic, and then we're supposed to turn around and be like, you know what, suck it up? Don't stay impassioned about this because we don't want to deal with it anymore. So I like Savannah Hernandez. Sav is my friend, and they're all my friends. I try to make them all my friends. But I like her take on this on X. She says, just so we're all aware, Trump's most loyal supporters who have been jailed, censored, silenced, beaten in the streets for wearing a MAGA hat, fired from their jobs, canceled for supporting him are all of the same people who have been calling for the Epstein list. Those are the people, she says, wow. I mean, those are the people you're going to call weaklings? I mean, how many people do I know? A lot of people who suffered some severe consequences for being anywhere near the Capitol building on January 6th. Thank God I wasn't even in town. But I mean, this doesn't pass the smell test. And I know there's those of you in the chat. I see you in the chat. Just trust. Trust what? Because Don Jr. just said, as long as he's not on that list. Pam Bondi said there was a list. What am I trusting at this point? You keep saying, oh, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Is it? Because I don't recall, just getting a free pass of consequences. I mean, I've been shit on. I've had to deal with a lot of accusations. I've had to deal with a lot of lies. But again, it ain't about me. If I had thin skin, I wouldn't be in this job. I wouldn't be doing what I do. Brendan Dilley's got a great tweet as well. He's got a great thing. Pop that thing up there. Because he says, I know. This is what he says. And he's given another take. Now, this is one, in support of Trump. He said, let's break down the Epstein hoax. He said, step one, take a legitimate criminal, exaggerate the influence of this criminal to almost boogeyman status for years. Well, let's stop right there. Now, who did that? Who elevated him to almost boogeyman status for years? I mean, we went off of what we were told. Step two, trusted Trump admins promised to get to the bottom of this, greatly exaggerated the issue. All right, so whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? Step three, Trump officials get into position of power and thoroughly investigate remaining documents. And step four, Trump FBI realizes that the reporting has been massively overblown and the conspiracy is much smaller and more specific than they thought. Okay. I mean, that'd be some cool, rhetoric to come out of the administration. Hadn't heard that, though. Step five, try and tell people the facts, which no longer support a theory they adopted as reality for many years. And step six, anti-MAGA weaponize this cognitive dissonance against Trump to fracture his base. And 7, Trump goes hard and tells people it's bullshit. Believe me or not, I'm focused on MAGA, and you can keep getting played by the Epstein hoax. Step 8, retards who built an entire brand and identity around a believed reality can't let go of it, because then they would have to question everything else they adopted as a permanent truth. And step 9, Trump doesn't need your vote, is building a broader coalition for the midterms while cleaning up the election fraud. So he is done hand-holding retards in his base and tells them to fuck off. And step 10, Trump is proven right yet again, and influencers never recover. Here's my issue with that. Pull the tweet back up there. Pull the post back up there, please. And go back up to step 7. Step 7, Trump goes hard and tells the people it's bullshit. Okay, here's my thing there. You could have done that a long time ago.
That should have been done right off the bat. If you'd have come out a long time ago and said what you said, that, hey, there's so much corruption in this, we can't tell what's what. We can't tell heads or tails of it. People would believe that.
So that is something there that I have some problems with, because that was never communicated. In fact, the opposite was communicated. There's David, I don't know if you can pull it up or not, but I sent you a longer video that actually includes Kash Patel. Is saying, and we don't have to play it, but it's basically saying, using the word list again. Now, if they had gone in there and said, and again, Kash and Dan Bongino, they did an interview, right? Where they said, that's not true. It's not, okay, that's fine. I have literally gone on and on and on and said that maybe the thing is corrupt, or maybe there's just not the evidence to back it up, or they're not seeing what they thought we were going to see, or they were going to see. And that's fine. But communicate that. But to suddenly say, hey, this is something this administration is going to be passionate about, and then your people and your supporters get passionate about it, and then you're like, oh, you're an idiot for being passionate about this. That bothers me. And if there's nothing there, there's nothing there. If it's a hoax, then it's a hoax. But I think there's a lot of stuff
there should be better evidence of a hoax than just saying, well, look at all the other hoaxes.
And look at all the other hoaxes, and we're not going to show you anything that proves that this is a hoax.
Yeah.
In fact, we're gonna release a video camera, a surveillance camera in a federal penitentiary that skips some minutes, and then you're going to explain that away and say, well, it laps every 12 hours and it skips minutes. And then you're going to show a door to a room that is questionably not even his, based on evidence that we've had prior to that. And I'm just trying to figure out, I'm really just trying to figure out, in the grand scheme of things, how an 8th grade substitute math teacher becomes one of the most influential people in the world when it comes to global elites.
He was tied to all these mathematicians and stuff. Was it Harvard?
Tell me how he gets associated with the likes of Bill Gates, or the guy had the largest penthouse apartment in Manhattan, the largest apartment in Manhattan, like a freaking 15-foot front door. When you walked into his home, he had eyeballs on the wall, like, so that you knew when you came in you were being watched. I'm not making it up here.
What, did they not have video of people going in and out of his house? Even if it doesn't,
we don't know that, do we? Why did the royal family disenfranchise themselves and distance themselves from Prince Andrew? Why did they remove his royal titles?
Yeah, because he took a photo with an underage girl.
Well, it was more than that. They came up with a whole lot more than that. But tell me why. Tell me how this guy becomes, how does a guy who's an 8th grade substitute math teacher like Jeffrey Epstein was, how does he get a private island? How does he get a ranch that's literally in the donut hole surrounded by the most powerful political family in New Mexico, and brings in people so he can create his own society of Epsteins, by impregnating 20-year-old virgins 20 at a time, 18-year-old virgins 20 at a time, so he can, basically populate his own little Epstein world.
Shouldn't there be a bunch of little Epstein kids running around? Where are they at?
I mean, how does that happen? How do you a wing named after you or a research wing named after you at Harvard? How do you do that? How do you get presidents and former presidents on your airplane? If there's nothing there, if it's just a hoax, I mean, if this guy, back to Brendan's point there, if we just elevated this thing to boogeyman status, well, fuck me. I must be the dumbest son of a bitch on the planet. I mean, I'm really trying to make sense of this thing. I mean, I must really be an idiot here to sit there and tell me that, Bill Clinton jumps on an airplane, flies down there 27 times. He wasn't going for the jet skis.
He must have been a real charismatic guy himself, Epstein. People liked him. He was in all these rooms with all these people. And I feel blessed to be in some of the rooms that I've been able to be, dumb redneck from East Texas that's been in some of the rooms I've been in with people. But I can't, on that level of, I don't understand it either. Because he literally came from nothing. What did he...
Play this clip right here. Watch this.
How is it that my father can be convicted of 34 crimes, but no one on Epstein's list has even been brought to light? I'm trying to figure out how that's possible, right, folks? It's almost like they're trying to protect those pedophiles for some reason. I can't imagine why, right?
Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list.
Everybody in politics has a vice that's much worse than alcoholism, is the way that I put it. But we
release the list.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump.
In this case, in Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
I'm not ever going to let this story go because of what I heard from a source about Bill Clinton on a plane with Jeffrey Epstein. I'm not letting it go ever. Ever.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable.
All of these people are in power now. All of these people could certainly release.
All right. Well, ain't that something? I mean, I don't know. I guess we elevated it to boogeyman status. I mean, I guess that's the whole deal. Steve Baker, my best good friend, Steve Baker, who by the way, the Department of Justice came after him after he started whistleblowing pretty big on some stories because he was there at the Capitol January 6th. He said the list is real and so replete with the names of prominent politicians and business leaders of all political stripes that its revelation could bring down the entire government. It's why no client names have ever been released, despite victim testimonies and compensation. It's why both the state of Florida and the FBI cut a plea deal with Epstein all the way back to 2008 on his then charges of child prostitution. I got news for you, folks. Child prostitution means there were customers. Epstein and Maxwell weren't diddling and videoing hundreds of girls all by themselves. I believe Trump and his administration have chosen to tell a lie to save the country. They also think that they make his angry supporters forget before the midterms to keeping to other major campaign promises. But I think they have calculated poorly. And frankly, I'd prefer to see the palace walls toppled. I also believe the revelation of the existence of a true uniparty set on the preservation of its own perverted power might shock most of the general population out of our current chasmic polarization. Further, this decision has simply emboldened the swamp and deep state to even darker and more nefarious misdeeds.
I'm just going to say there's a list. It's probably a very detailed client list with everything, their likes, their dislikes, everything. You know, I go get my hair done, and the girl, when I go in, she knows what music to put on when I'm there. She knows how I'm going to cut my hair. Everything. Promise you, there's a list with details. Yeah. Can't tell me there's not. You don't set up an operation like that without having information on your clients.
You don't go from being an 8th grade substitute math teacher to being almost a billionaire. And I don't think he was a billionaire. He was close to being a billionaire with private islands, insulated ranches in New Mexico. And when I say insulated, I mean surrounded by the most powerful political family in New Mexico, literally New Mexico royalty politically. He was the donut hole. Their ranch surrounded him. You had to fly in. Having the biggest penthouse apartment in Manhattan. I mean, you did something. You didn't do it by accident. And I can't stress enough. Now, you want to let it go, fine. I'll let the whole fucking thing go. And I'm sorry for dropping F-bombs. I really am. I'm trying to do better. People get mad at me. I'm trying to do better. But I'm like, you want to let it go? I don't have to talk about politics ever for the rest of my life. I don't have to. I don't like talking about politics. I like talking about culture. To me, this is a cultural issue. Politics runs downhill from culture. This is a cultural issue. This isn't about Donald Trump. This isn't about Joe Biden or Barack Obama. This isn't about Bill Clinton. It's not. This is cultural rot. And I'm telling you, I am not going to apologize for making this a cornerstone issue of messaging, of saying if our country, if society, if Western civilization, if our freedom and liberty, the things that we claim to value, are truly built on a foundation that is that wicked, I think that we should call out. Scott Jennings, I like him a lot. And let me go on record as saying, I still support this administration. What was our option? Kamala Harris? I'm just saying, you guys say, well, you were handing him the midterms. No, he's handing them the midterms.
He'll do it himself.
Scott Jennings calls out the Democrats for suddenly talking about the Epstein files. Look at Van Jones over there. Or is that Jamal Bowman? That's Jamal Bowman.
If they were smart.
Is that Van? Anyway, what were you going to say, Steve?
If they were smart, that's all they would talk about right now.
Oh, you're about to see a lot of stuff coming. All right, play the clip.
I want to hear what you have to say.
Yes, I yield, Scott.
I yield to my good friend, Scott Jennings.
And this disingenuousness is what you need to know about the Democrats right now. The party's in the ditch.
It's our fault.
Yes.
We have
because you have Democrats. Because you got Democrats.
Kids, if you're interested in politics, watch this pivot.
You've got Democrats saying, we must release the files. Joe Biden had the files for 4 years. Not a single Democrat cared. And if Donald Trump were in it.
He didn't campaign on releasing the files.
And if Donald Trump.
Trump did.
But these Democrats are acting like it's a national emergency, and they did nothing about it. If Donald Trump were in there, don't you think Joe Biden would have put? They had law enforcement chasing them all over
I think
creation.
we can all acknowledge Democrats are taking advantage of the situation in a political way. I mean, that does not seem like a contested thing. It's that the issue is that
look, people legitimately have questions.
Yes,
powerful people did do terrible things. I'm sure there are things in the files that cannot be released because of this. Well, would you want to have victims' names or child pornographic tapes
look,
or anything like that? Probably not.
But I'm serious now. They said
you're a lawyer, by the way. Some of this stuff can't be released.
Hey, look, I don't want all the bad stuff released, but I am saying this: who's lying here? They said they had the stuff. They had them dead to rights. Donald Trump built up this huge pile of accusations, and now he's like David Copperfield, just trying to make them all disappear. Why? Why won't they just release the stuff that is not going to hurt children, but might help America?
Well, it sounds like that's what the president is saying. If you have things you can release it, and then explain why you can't release the rest. That's a legitimate point of view.
We agree with them. Release the credible stuff.
Well, again, I don't need to read a list, but I need justice. That's all I've ever asked for. That's all I've ever asked for. And crucify me if you must. I mean, I'm just saying. Anyway, that's where we're at.
I ain't giving up on Trump. It's coming. It's got to. It's got to.
Again, the administration, we'll see what's up.
I mean, we appreciate Trump's bombastic ways.
Trump's coming out now. Trump is coming out now, right, and saying that the AG needs to release all credible evidence. Steve,
yeah.
Where'd you get that?
I've seen that several places.
But is it happening now, or has it already happened? Because it has been said in the past.
Yeah, maybe it was in the past. Because as we're doing the show, I'm reading stuff that's going on.
Yeah,
and so
yeah, you got to be careful on that stuff, because we want to make sure that we're saying the right thing when it's coming in. All right. God, I'm so distracted with so many different things. My phone's blowing up. I mean, it's going down, bro. And Steve's giving me fake news.
It's not fake news.
Yeah, but I don't know where it's coming from. He's texting me. I don't know where it's coming from.
Oh.
If you got a link, you got to send me the link, Daddy. Jasmine Crockett, she's a gift that keeps on giving.
She makes AOC look smart.
What'd you say?
She makes AOC look smart.
That's funny. So I saw this. This was yesterday. Jasmine Crockett says Texas is racist and that black Democrat members of Congress should have special privileges, such as not facing competition from white people.
That's racist.
Yeah. She has previously said that she got favors because of her race, but that's beside the point. Play the clip.
Yeah. So first of all, it hasn't quite been said clearly that Texas has always been found to be intentionally discriminatory. And so I want y'all to understand the makeup of my state. The state is a majority minority state. And what this legislature historically has done is what they plan to do again, is to dilute the voices of people of color in order to make sure that they can get to where they're trying to go. We saw this Department of Justice decided to put out a letter, and what did they do? We only have 4 seats that are represented by black folk, where the vast majority of the people that get to decide who they have represent them are black. They decided to attack 3 of the 4 seats that we have in the state. They decided to go after a Latina. They are specifically deciding to splinter the communities of common interest, as well as just blatantly say we are going to dilute minority voices. So we know that the courts, ever since we've had a Voting Rights Act, have always found this state to be intentionally discriminatory. That is what they are going to do. So I need people of color to understand that the scheme of the Republicans has consistently been to make sure that they mute our voices so that they can go ahead and have an oversized say in this. So I fully anticipate that's exactly where they're going with this map. It's the only way to do it. We didn't understand how we got to the map that they gave us last time, because that state was grown by 95% people of color. They went out of their way to make sure that we got 0 new seats for people of color. So that's exactly what they're going to do this.
All right. So, Jasmine, and I would remind her that the guy running against her is black. The Republican running against her is black. He's not a white guy. So you can refer to it as being a racially gerrymandered district. Do you ever listen to somebody talk and just wonder how they manage to put their shoes on in the morning because they're just that stupid? I mean, does everything have to be about race at this point? I mean, is racism so baked into our society that is the watershed issue no matter what happens? The wind's racist, water's racist, diets are racist, exercise is racist. Everything's racist. What if you were just a better freaking candidate? Every time she opens her freaking mouth, Jasmine Crockett. I wish I was exaggerating about this, but I'm not. You know I'm not. This woman is supposed to be representing the people of Texas. She's going to go to Congress. I mean, is that racist? She got elected. And you're going to tell me Texas is racist? Black Democrats in Congress apparently deserve some kind of special privileges based on their melanin. Now, I don't know what kind of brain she's operating with, but it's not full of common sense. If Texas is so racist, how'd you get elected in Texas? Did the KKK take a coffee break and forget to rig your ballot box? See, it's always the same script with this. You get elected, you get the spotlight. Instead of using it to uplift your community or your purpose on a single decent piece of legislation, you stand up and start playing the greatest hits album called America's Racist Volume 9. That is tired. It is lazy, quite honestly. It's insulting to voters who put you there, hoping you'd fight for real change and not cry for handouts on C-SPAN. And you know what makes this even more ridiculous is none of it's about justice. It's not about equality either. It's about power. They want to redraw the rules, not to make them fair. That's BS. But to tip the scale permanently in their favor. And when they get called out on it, cue the race card. See, that's like political pepper spray. You spray it in everybody's face and hope the conversation ends before the facts catch up. And I'll tell you what's really racist. Assuming that the only way a black person can succeed in Texas is if the system is rigged in their favor. That's the soft bigotry of low expectations, folks. And that's what Jasmine Crockett's always selling. So she says you want special treatment for black lawmakers because of the way they're targeted and redistricting. Lady, that's not how America works. We're not going to carve out congressional seats like participation trophies. This isn't kindergarten. We're not handing out safe spaces in the U.S. Capitol because somebody might get their feelings hurt when they lose a vote. How about this radical idea? You earn respect by showing up, making your case, winning arguments with reason and policy, not just shouting racism into the wind every time somebody disagrees with you. But when your intellectual toolkit is a plastic spoon and a bullhorn, you do what you can. I get it. This is the same woman who once sat in a dadgum committee hearing waving around a picture of Donald Trump's hair like it was a legal argument. Her IQ is weaker than Forrest Gump's legs when he was a kid. I mean, she's not a politician who makes you question whether the problem is the system or just the people we keep putting in it. She doesn't want equal treatment. She wants special privileges. They never want equality. They want control. And she wants to disguise that as justice. Act like a victim while you're living off of taxpayer-funded victimhood. You don't want America to be colorblind. She wants you to see nothing but color, because if you ever stop looking at people through the racial lens, folks like her would lose their entire identity. If you ever solved racism, as according to them, they'd be unemployed. Emotionally, politically, probably intellectually too, and that's not a far drop from where she's at right now. So listen, Jasmine, if you hate Texas so much, if you think it's a den of racist vipers, pack up your office and run for Congress in San Francisco or something. I don't know. I'm sure you're going to fit in right next to the tent cities, the broken needles, and the defunded police departments you probably dream of bringing to the Lone Star State. And by the way, I've seen Dallas. It ain't looking so great. So spare me the virtue signaling and quit playing the oppression Olympics like you're some kind of civil rights pioneer because somebody challenged your stupid ideas. You're not Rosa Parks. You're not Harriet Tubman. You're a loudmouth opportunist with a Twitter account and a nameplate on a door. And Texans, I don't care if you're black, white, Hispanic, Asians, or whatever, deserve better than a race-baiting grifter who thinks victimhood is a qualification for leadership. We need some courage, man. We need some truth. We need some integrity, not Jasmine Crockett stupidity. All right. Can't stand that woman. That's all I got to say about that. Steve?
That was a mouthful. That's I mean,
I got to get a new earpiece.
She wants more representation than the 12% of African Americans that are in the state of Texas.
Oh boy, Israel bombed Syria. They love to bomb people, huh?
Well, I think it was a retaliation thing, wasn't it?
That's what they say.
I mean, that's what I would say.
That's what they always say. Play the clip.
يا شباب قصف جديد قصف جديد يا شباب قصف جديد ما بنهيئة الأركان خالص قصف جديد يا شباب قصف خطوط بسرعة 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 بسرعة.
Do you notice all the cars are just driving like normal? Nobody's like slamming on their brakes or hauling butt or anything. They just keep on driving like normal.
Yeah, trying to see who's got the right of way on the roundabout. Yeah, one dude's flipping around. CNN said they carried out a series of powerful strikes in the Syrian capital Wednesday, escalating a campaign, it says, in support of an Arab minority group involved in deadly clashes with Syrian government forces. It says 3 people were killed, 34 others injured in the attack. And, yeah, despite pressure from the U.S., which has made moves to end Syria's international isolation, Israel has stepped up its campaign. Yeah. They're bombing them. They don't know what the F they're doing. All right. And then here you got a feel-good story.
I need a feel-good story right now.
You got a family that self-deported to Mexico. Well, moved to Beverly. Play the clip.
These are the main pictures from our house that we didn't want to just throw away.
Sasha Mendoza has the impossible task of packing up her family's life in Pittsburgh into a handful of suitcases.
It's really hard to tell a 4-year-old that they can't bring their toys or their stuffed animal. There's just not enough room. We can't put a stuffed animal and have no pants. I've literally never felt anxiety the way that I have in the last 2 years here.
So you are saying bye to the U.S. for good?
For good, yeah. Yeah, for good.
Fearful of President Donald Trump's immigration crackdown, Sasha, her husband Julio, and their 3 kids are leaving behind the life they built together.
What are you the most excited for in Mexico? The pool. The pool? And the beach. And the beach?
Julio is an undocumented immigrant from Mexico. Sasha and their 3 children are all U.S. citizens. They decided to make the move together only moments after Trump took office.
There was an executive order being signed, and that was her call for, said, like, what do you think about moving to Mexico? And I said, honestly, at this point, yeah, let's do it.
We're gonna move to Mexico. We're gonna move to Mexico, not today.
And with that, the family began to wind down their lives, sifting through keepsakes and moving out of their home.
Say bye to the house. Bye. Miss you.
When you were dating, did your status as being undocumented come up at all?
And then our first date, we kind of like were mentioning it without mentioning it. And at one point, he ordered a drink and he asked for extra ice. And I said, no, we don't do ice here. And he was like,
Yeah, well.
Yeah, you can they can start a GoFundMe. They're probably making a lot of money right now. They move back to Mexico to help them with it.
Well, what you do, I don't know why. It's CNN. I want to laugh at this person narrating it, doing the voiceover. The little feel-good music. Oh, it's so sad. Here's what you do. You go back to Mexico. You apply for a visa. You come back to the U.S. and you get married to her.
I thought they were already married. They're family, right?
They ain't married.
Oh,
you know what, Steve? I know that without knowing it.
They could solve that problem pretty
I'll
quick.
bet $100 right now they ain't married.
And she better learn Spanish.
You go back to Mexico. You're like, well, if we move back to Mexico. Or you could have applied for citizenship. You could have done the legal recourse. You could have done what you needed to do so that you can live here. And CNN's going to make it out to be this issue that doesn't have to be. There have been a lot of people who get their visa and come and they marry somebody that's here and they get their citizenship. Anyway, that doesn't, the victimization plays better.
Yeah,
you get more
music they were playing.
Yeah, I mean, you get more.
Gets you right here in the heart.
She and her kids are U.S. citizens. Her husband's illegal. They would rather uproot the lives of their kids so the husband can go back to Mexico. I mean, when they sign the order, I guess it's time for us to move. Okay.
And why are you leaving stuff behind? You pack all your stuff. Got to pick what toys you can take with you to Mexico. No, pack it all.
Common sense like that, Steve. You're not supposed to ask those questions. Yeah. But she could marry him. I mean, if you're that stupid, I don't want you here anyway.
Maybe they wanted to move to Mexico.
Again, you wanted to move to Mexico. Hell, I've thought about it a few times myself.
I mean, haven't we all? Oh man, I'm going to move to a beach on Mexico or something. Everybody's thought about it. I mean,
I know a lot of people who have.
I know people that have, but way before there was any immigration issues and stuff like that live abroad, that live dual citizenship kind of thing.
But I mean, if you read that story, if you get into that story, and no, I just checked. They're not married. I was right. I knew it without knowing. Because I just know people. He's been here since he was 11 years old.
Yeah, he's had plenty of time to become a citizen. I have family members that very similar situation.
They've eaten well. And I understand, you know, I know people are going to push back. I see in the chat, you know, people are going to push back and say, well, you know, undocumented people, you know, undocumented spouses of U.S. citizens, they apply for green cards, but there are, you know, they're you know, unlawful entry. You still have to leave the U.S. for processing, get the visa, and come back.
Yeah, I know there for a while that wasn't even the case. The children that brought over by parents and stuff that have been here for, you know, 25 or 30 years, when they turn 18, they can there's ways to apply for citizenship. They've been there and they can prove they went to school here their whole life and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Seen it done.
All right, let's sum this up. This is from Charlie. John Solomon, his interview with President Trump, says Trump told him that he supports a deep state special prosecutor, which will include an investigation into Epstein. Steve Bannon said, you did inform him that they're thinking about appointing a special counsel on this to take over this entire investigation. Solomon said, yeah. And he said, I think it's a good approach. Let's just do it. Let's get the trust of the American people. Let's get accountability, and let's focus on the things that matter. Bannon said, so he's on board with the situation of getting a special prosecutor and having the Epstein situation put into that so he can be formally looked at. And John Solomon said he immediately volunteers it, and then I follow up on it, but he immediately brings up Epstein, like just throw that into it. Let's get it all answered. I got nothing to hide. I want truth. I want prosecutions, and I just want the justice system to take care of what needs to be taken care of. It was really a remarkable moment. All right. So, are we weaklings? Are we traitors? I mean, what are we at this point?
Yeah, I don't know, but it sounds like he's saying that we're pretty strong together, that all of our voices together can move the president in a different direction.
I mean, it is true. And I
Does
want
that
you,
make him weak?
If there's anybody on here that missed what I said in the first, 10, 15 minutes of this show, if you missed it, I want you to go back and watch it, please. Do me that favor and do that. Trump's done a lot for this country, man. He didn't have to do any of this. And, you know, I see people say, oh, you know, the Epstein hoax, now the language is changing. It just makes people feel important because they're going after something. I just, we wouldn't have talked about it if you hadn't brought it up. I've been talking about it for 6 years. It's a big story, and it matters.
Is. It's huge.
And if it's not there, again, you're going to have to tell me that human trafficking is not there. So if that makes me not MAGA because I'm asking these questions, well, then I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you've told me. I mean, I've been told that 325,000 kids were missing. We just came out with the news 2 weeks ago, said 10,000 of them were found. Is that, I mean, what is that? Is that a hoax? I mean, are we not supposed to believe in the trafficking thing anymore, missing kids? Are we not supposed to believe that there's more slavery in the world today than there's ever been in human history? I mean, that's what we've been told, right? So what's the deal? I mean, am I not supposed to believe what I see and hear?
I think Trump just wants you to focus on whatever is coming out of his mouth right at that moment.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And I don't mean that ugly against him or anything. That's whatever coming out of his mouth, that's what he wants you to focus on.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to have a nothing to hide policy, then let's make it where there's nothing to hide. That's it. Trust me, I've lost a lot. I've lost a lot for this administration. I mean, do you realize that? I mean, how much of a career I've lost? You know, how much how much we've given up, how much we've sacrificed, how much accusations been thrown our way in defense of this administration and this president.
Yeah, and it's not over.
And I still believe he's the right person. I believe he's the right person to be in that office right now. And I mean, again, I don't deserve him to praise me or anything else. If you want to call me stupid, I mean, call me stupid. I can handle it.
He calls everybody stupid. So it's
there's been way better people than us that he's
not special at all.
Yeah, no big deal. So anyway. All right, folks, we're going to jump out of here. We're in Nashville, Tennessee tomorrow night. We got to travel today, Steve.
Yeah, about to go get on the airplane.
Yeah, we got to travel. Life goes on. So anyway, crazy, man. Go to watchchad.com for all the fun stuff is. Check it out. I'm telling you guys, I'm asking God to sanctify my mouth a little bit. Get pretty fired up still. And I'll tell you, God is the focus. That's where my focus is, man. And it has been since way before this election. So, all right. Steve, what else we need to tell them about before we get out of here?
I need everyone to go to my Make Wellness team. Go to a link at PartyFoulSteve. You can go on Instagram. You can go to my Facebook page. There's a link to my Make Wellness. I want to make sure I plug that. That is that's my side hustle. Everybody's got to have a side hustle, right?
That's it, baby.
All right.
Maybe your side hustle becomes a main hustle.
Yeah, no kidding. It's slowly but surely. It's I say slowly. It's been pretty quick. It's moving right along. I'm hitting goals. Got one more goal I need to hit this week.
Get it. All right, Nashville this week. Then we're in Lubbock next week, and tons of stuff coming up. You'll see the schedule at watchchad.com. Hey, folks, we're in this thing just like you are. We're trying to make heads or tails of it constantly, and be encouraged. Nobody down around here. We're encouraged. Party Foul Steve, I appreciate you, my brother. I'll holler at you here in just a little bit. We'll head to the airport. And for the rest of you guys, I love y'all. I really do. I'm praying for you. Pray for me. God bless you. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Hey, guys, welcome to the